In relation to the new scheme, the European Commission's observations on the CAP strategic plan had some mixed views, including on the details of this scheme. Will there need to be further tinkering to be done before the strategic plan is approved?
Well, across all of our schemes within the CAP strategic plan, we've been engaging with the Commission in terms of seeking approval. I think overall so far there's been a strong and a positive response. There's been some issues raised which we have reverted to the Commission on, and certainly my objective is to work to ensure that we ultimately get approval for the scheme that we have submitted, and for all of the schemes that we've submitted, because we put massive thought and effort and indeed consultation working with farmers and meeting farmers right around the country in relation to actually developing it. What's also really important is that we actually have the schemes up and running from January of next year. So that's why we are now launching the scheme. It is now, and from the 1st of August, will be open to farmers to actually start applying. The details of the different measures that are involved are being published today so that farmers can consider them, review them, and decide what's appropriate to their farm and engage with their advisors. So I'm very confident that we will have full approval from the Commission for the scheme, but also we're working alongside that to make sure that, really importantly, the scheme is ready to go and farmers are able to available from January of next year, because we don't want to have any gaps in relation to farmers having access to environmental schemes.
So could you describe what sort of personnel are involved in the cooperation project teams that will be leading in the 8 areas?
So there's 8 distinct geographic areas around the country which have been identified, working with other state agencies and working with the NPWS. And farmers in those areas then will be able to avail of up to a maximum payment of €10,500 for cooperative measures, which can be contributing, for example, to wildlife, providing wildlife habitats, protecting bird species, improving water quality, etc. There's been 8 cooperation teams put in place to manage those and to work with farmers in those areas. That was a tender process, and they will play a really important role now, and they'll work collaboratively with farmers to identify what measures might work in different areas, what measures would make a significant contribution and could form part of the scheme. It's a really new and it's an exciting departure. I've no doubt it will take a little bit of time for everyone to work together and find an appropriate balance and plan which properly delivers for the different areas involved, but I think it's one which will work well, and one as well which will importantly deliver really significant income for ecosystem services for farm families over the 5 years of this new Acres environmental scheme.
Finally, Minister, just on the sectoral emissions targets, pretty much all the farm orgs are looking for a target in around 22%, but are they likely to be disappointed as things move forward?
Well, the key objective I have is to continue to back farm families to be able to continue to produce the food that is so important and to be as productive as we possibly can be in relation to producing food, but really importantly alongside that to reduce our emissions footprint. And that's the challenge here. No one has come to me looking for us to reduce or saying to me, Minister, you should reduce the amount of food that Ireland produces. There's an increased understanding now, particularly in the context of the illegal invasion of Ukraine, of the importance of food security. We're very blessed in this country in relation to the natural advantages we have in our position in the globe, in relation to the climate we have and the capacity to have grass-based livestock and milk production, for example, and indeed horticulture. That's something we want to continue, but like across every other aspect of life and society, we have to minimise the emissions footprint for that. And in terms of the engagement I'm having with government colleagues and with cabinet colleagues, my objective is to ensure we get a target which is deliverable, which maximises the contribution we can make, but in a way that actually allows us to be and continue to produce the food that we do. So that's the balance, and that's the objective in terms of reaching an outcome which backs farmers to continue to produce food, but also backs them in relation to minimising the emissions footprint of that.